What's going on, guys? Your everyday options trader back here with yet another video for you. Whew, oh my goodness, what a week we've had. You can see here this morning we've just been on a down and down, more or less here. We had that really sharp decrease there. Actually caught some pretty good trades in here, as well as here. And then, of course, there was some good action in the after hours. That was not an opportunity there at all. And of course, this was a pretty healthy downswing as well, and you had a secondary too. Uh, Pretty volatile market we've had, at least you can see here. I mean, it's kind of trended for the longer term there, but you can see most of these trades were, just about five little ticks here, if you will. Going into tomorrow, we do have a descending wedge, so that could potentially mean a upside breakout to kind of maybe rebound us up into this area possibly, or potentially this area. So we'll see kind of where we do end up landing. I would like to see, I mean, this is probably more likely for sometime between now and the end of the day tomorrow, that 291, 292 area, if we do have an upside breakout. As far as the downside goes, I mean, we are pretty much in free fall down into here. So curiously, I'd love to see kind of what's going to go on with that throughout the day. You can see also we are well, we're pretty oversold in this area here, so I mean that definitely does support that as well. So the upside breakout could definitely come in the pre-market. Now, a couple things I wanted to go over was the alerts. So one thing that I did notice in V5.2, and this was true in the case before, you may get an alert here since the alert is tied to the signal. However, if we look in closely here, that's not really an opportunity. It is, but by the close, it was flat. Granted, it was lower and it did decrease, right? But it definitely, this is something you kind of have to watch on your own. I may or may not have entered here. However, you know, you may have just been as well to enter here. It's really not that much slower. We're talking a couple cents, or about 20% on an options trade, depending on where you bought it at. So that's just something to keep in mind with the signals. They do help make it pretty passive. However, it does help, like I said, if you're pretty much trading, I mean, if you can get away with trading till 10:30 every day, that would be kind of the ideal time for some action there. I know we had a little bit of false hope here trying to escape this, but it didn't actually break over that pre-market high, or pre-market low rather in this case. Going back to the day before, these are the days where you're really not going to make any trades, right? So considerably flat, right? Nothing really moved. I mean, you had a little uptick here where you could have made some money, right? A little bit here, you could have made some money. But days like these, it's really better, especially when the market's ranging. You see a lot of flat here. It's really better just to kick back, relax, and enjoy your day. That's kind of what you're trying to avoid. Now, days like this, freaking beautiful, nice and linear. You had two solid long-term trade opportunities there. Um, and you can see where it kind of starts to stall out. You can see down here, dramatically oversold, right? So that would be kind of your signal. Once you get into that, oversold area, it may or may not be a good idea for you to enter a trade. Again, none of this is financial advice, but of course, I believe this was some sort of economic event. Going back to a couple other things, I know I had a couple people asking me about how are your alerts set up. So I will go back in here and kind of show you this. So basically what I have filtered, looks Algo Premium, and then you're going to hit filtered signal alert, very important, and I'll show you all how to set that up later. I like to do once per bar close. You can also do once per minute, or I would not do only once per minute if you just constantly want to get chimed in on this. And then of course this is my strong buy alert, so I'll show you guys how to set that up. So basically, all you're going to do for that is you're going to go up here to the Algo Premium, hit the Settings tab. Now, under the Settings tabs, yours should look just like this, right? Signal sensitivity 10, confirmation signals agility 21. I also found 23 works pretty well. Then just make sure your trend tracer, trend catcher are on. I like to keep my dashboard on as well. The rest of this, don't really worry about that. Leave it how it is. Um, Now, you're gonna ignore this, right? When you go down here to filtered alert creator, right? So you're gonna hit the drop down and it's going to be for a strong buy, right? You'd hit confirmation strong buy. And then you would basically make sure your trend tracer is up, trend catcher is up. I do like to make sure my trend strength is greater than 60, but that's personal preference for you. And then, of course, for a regular buy, same thing. Sell is just the opposite. So you do any confirmation sell, trend tracer down, trend catcher down, and that would be that. And you'd simply go in here, create the alert, come over here and hit alert. And then you're going to go Lux Algo Premium, filtered signal alert, once per bar close, that's fine. And you would change this one to sell or strong sell or buy or strong buy, whatever you're looking for. And again, all this is traded on the 5-minute chart. It does also work for higher time frames, but this is really meant to be 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes absolute max. I would not do it on anything more than that. And of course, do make sure your after hours data is on. You're subscribed to real time data, which is your I'll pull it up for you guys if I can get to it. Yep. Okay, so profile. Oh, poop, it's not going to let me go. But there are two real-time datas you need, and it's the NASDAQ and the NYSE, if I'm not mistaken. And I'll probably have a correction to that here shortly. However, those are the two real-time datas you need to have on top of TradingView. And then, of course, if you want, you can also do the TradingView Premium as well. Actually, pretty nice. I've tried all the plans, and I can tell you they're all great depending on how many alerts you want to have. One thing I've been trying out as well is trying this on higher volume tech stocks, something like, say, Meta, right? You see a lot of very healthy swings in here, but really none of these are big trade opportunities. That's the biggest problem I found with these. You can take a look at like Google as well, very sharp. This has a little more opportunities because there is a little more volume. Um, Man, excuse me, it's been a long day. Tesla, you would think that would work very well, and of course you do have these nasty swing days, but at the same time, you never know. Um, and I'll show you a benefit of this strategy here. It eliminates these false signals you would have, right? So you can see it's flat here, so technically you should have been out of this trade up here. And then maybe you saw a sell and said, hey, it's going to reverse direction. But this is still green, this is still green. So that's not a signal at all. And it just took off even more, right? So you would have hit that signal there. That is a good entry. And you would kind of ride it up to ideally, probably here you could jump out, but you would have been fine if you would have still rode it up, as long as it's all green. And you do have some red candles here, so that would have definitely been a jump out point for me, especially here. Usually, as soon as I see a red candle pop up, that's about time to get out because that means it's closing lower than the previous candle. As soon as, say, this candle crosses over the open basically of these Heikin-Ashi candles, um, that's when I tend to get out of trade simply because it's no longer profitable from a candle to candle standpoint. So it's something to definitely look at. Tried this on Microsoft as well. Just not enough really volume to make a huge difference. Um, but again, you do have those days, right? Where you just peel off copious amounts of money. Um, and see, a lot of these are saying an upside breakout. I thought about doing it on something like American Airlines, nice little cheapie. This one actually would work pretty decently. This would have been a pretty decent trade opportunity in this one as well. Um, it does get traded a lot, which is really good. I mean, it's got very nice swings in it through the day to day, and definitely, for a less than 2 day data expiration, that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday trade, you could probably make some pretty good money off of it as well. Um, and the key here is just, keep it short, keep it concise. You're not staying in it for a long time, but that's definitely one that would work well as well. United Airlines, pretty same story. The airlines have been pretty active recently, which is good. Something like AMD, it kind of works, kind of doesn't, right? You can see there's not a ton of flow in here with this trend catcher. The trend tracer does move though, but think of the trend tracer as more or less a super trend for it, right? This is just more or less a double super trend, um, and with combined with the signals and of course the oscillator, the stochastic, definitely makes a lot of help for it and improves the likelihood. I would not personally trade on any leveraged stocks just simply because, again, similar story, there's not a ton of volume and it can turn bad on you very quickly, you know, unless it's a very good entry, right? You can see most of these are showing an upside breakout for within the near future, so I'm kind of curious to see what happens tomorrow. But little Bitcoin, that one actually doesn't look too terrible. That looks really healthy right there. That's a beautiful trade. But then again, this is also a $12 stock, right? So just one last thing I wanted to hit on for you guys. Um, as far as this dashboard goes, this is actually I found to be super accurate as far as the trend strength, right, and the volume sentiment. So these used in conjuncture, right? If it's red, it's clearly to the downside. If it's green, it's clearly to the upside. And then the volume does really help with entries, right? As soon as you see it start really increasing above that 60-70% range, I mean, you're really starting to take off. That's a really good entry point there. Generally, I'm looking for anything over 60. Um, and then the higher explosivity, the better. Volatility should be pretty high, um, but it generally does stay around low. But all right, guys, that is it for today. Let me know any questions, comments, concerns in the comments below. I'm more than happy to answer any of those questions for you guys and help you out getting on your journey to financial freedom. I'll be having a video about dividends coming up here within the next few days. I'll get that posted up for you guys ASAP. Been doing a lot of research with those in conjunction to passive income. Thank you guys for watching. This is your Everyday Options Trader. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.